Okay, guys, so this is part two of the tanning video. Now, anytime you walk into a salon, you have both lie down beds and stand ups. Usually they recommend you to switch back and forth. So if today you did a lie down, maybe next time you want to do a stand up, just because then you can get your underarm and like under your breast area or anywhere that the sun doesn't hit. And especially when you're lying down, there are certain spots that the bed won't get to. So if you want an even tan, you would do the stand up. Now I'm lazy, so I don't usually do the stand up because I can't bear to stand there for 15 minutes with my arms up. So that's up to you. It's a choice. I think I get my coverage when I tan is pretty decent. So I'm not picky like that. And it's not obvious to the point where if you put your arms up, people can see, right? So now I'll tell you why. When you lie down, um, there are certain positions that you can assume so that you can get kind of everywhere of especially your arms and your underarms. So when you first lie down, you can put your hands up like this, but make sure your hands are out like this, right? And your palms are face down on the bed. That way it gets all underneath and up top. Now, after so many minutes, you switch and you put your arms up like this. That way, the bed will tan underneath and underneath your arm, and anywhere around your breast area here, and so it gets everywhere, right? So sometimes, what I like to do, especially for those of you who have nails, is I cover them with like a piece of clothing. So you can get a towel or you can use your shirt, and I just kind of like sit my nails because I get my nails done, and sometimes when you're in there, it turns yellow, especially after you put on your lotion and there's a bronzer in it. So I'll stick my fingernails into a top or a towel like this so that it covers it and it doesn't tan there, like the light doesn't hit there. So that's another tip for those of you who get your nails done and you tan at the same time. That's always a good tip. Um, now, in terms of beds, every tanning salon should have different kinds of beds. They have ones that are for kind of like the beginners of tanning, and then they have ones that are more powerful. Now, the prices will vary with each bed because some beds are more powerful and they're more expensive than the others. Now, I suggest stay with whatever you're comfortable with. Now, sometimes it's good to switch up beds because your body, like even like skincare, right? Your body gets so used to one line of skincare, it's sometimes a good thing to change it up, because when you change it up, you might get a better result, or you'll get even like more color in this case with tanning, right? So sometimes when I tan, I stick to one bed, but then here and there I'll do a more expensive bed because technology wise and the color wise and the bulbs are stronger. Now, speaking of bulbs, when you go into a tanning salon, especially if you're going in there for the first time and you're not too familiar with it, ask the owner or the girl behind the counter when was the last time they got their bulbs changed, especially the bed that you're going into. Sometimes if the bulbs have been sitting there for a long time and they haven't been changed, that will slow down your tan. So a good salon will keep up with changing their bulbs and making sure they change them regularly. That way, you always get fresh bulbs and you're getting the maximum tan that you can get from the bed. Sometimes I know that there are certain salons that do unlimited packages, like so you can pay a certain amount for a month and then you get unlimited tanning. Be careful because some of those salons don't change their bulbs. So really you're going there, you're paying, but you're not getting results. But that's because they don't change their bulbs. That's something you really, really need to look out for. So whenever I go to a new salon, which is very rarely, but whenever I go to a new salon, I always ask, when was the last time you changed your bulbs? Especially in that specific bed that you're going into. Um, Another thing is, now you have to be careful sometimes. If you're the first one in the salon after, like, at the beginning of the day, most likely the bed hasn't been warmed up and you're probably the first one in there. So it might be a little cold and you can feel the difference when someone has just gone into the bed before you and when you're in there, because it's much hotter because the bed has been going and it's already warmed up, just like a car, right? But regardless, that shouldn't slow down your tan very often, like as well, not very often. It shouldn't slow down your tan, but at the same time, just be aware that if you are going to be in the bed right after someone, it's going to be hot. Next thing, hygienic reasons hygienic, sanitary reasons. They usually don't recommend you to take off your underwear, your panties, and for hygienic reasons. That's completely up to you. I know people that do it. I know people that aren't comfortable with it. Now, you are if you are familiar with the salon and you know they are pretty good at cleaning their beds, then by all means, right? But at the same time, us as customers should do our part. And when you're done with the bed, they always have a towel for you. Take the towel and just give the bed a little bit of a good wipe. Why? Because the last thing the person needs, the girl working there needs to come in and see is a pile of sweat on the bed. That's not fun for them either. So just do our due diligence and just wipe it down a little, just so that when she cleans it, she's not, it's kind of gross, right? When they're human too. So I don't know if that covered everything. I can't really think of anything else. Oh yes, actually, I there's one really important thing that I forgot to mention. Mirrors. Now, when you go into a new salon, if you're not familiar with them, you need to check their mirrors. If there's mirrors in the room, you need to make sure that they're not double-sided. Now, how do you know that? You can put your fingernail, say if this is the mirror, you can put your fingernail or your finger on the mirror. Now, if you can't see your finger right against you as a reflection, then that's a double-sided mirror and something is behind there. If you can see the reflection right away, that's a mirror and you're safe. But at the same time, you got to just kind of inspect the room, do a room check kind of thing, right? Just make sure there's no hidden cameras, there's nothing looks suspicious. Especially when you're going to a new salon, I would go to one that someone had recommended you, or a girl that works there, instead of just walking into anywhere. I do know of girls that have walked into a salon and they discovered something really fishy, so they didn't continue with their tan, so they left, and then later found out that there were cameras in the room. So I would just be extra careful. That's why I always stick to one salon. I know them very well. And my girlfriend works there, right? So it makes it that much easier, and I know that they're legit. So just be careful, have fun. Like I said, going every day doesn't help. It doesn't make you tan better than someone who goes once a week or twice a week. So it's completely up to you. It's trial and error with your skin. Be careful though. Don't burn. If you feel that the bed is burning you, or if you're just not comfortable, there is always a big red button or a stop button that will stop the bed. Before you go into the bed, if this is your first time tanning, make sure you ask the girl where the emergency stop button is, just in case it gets way too hot for you and you can't handle it. If it's uncomfortable, stop. Don't do it. Don't continue, because the last thing you need is to come out looking like a lobster and you have like second-degree burns, right? So just make sure that you check all these things. These are my tips speaking from experience, and I hope I helped some of you understand the whole tanning thing a little bit better, and I'll see you in my next video. Have fun, guys. Bye.